insane, dude!
Yo, what's up, gamers? Here we are in the Corsair. We're still doing the Grail challenge. Just finished normal on my Corsair. We're level 49. I'll go over the gear here real quick. We have some special items here. I've been farming quite a bit for the Grail, and we'll just look at the most notable one real quick. Chest piece, Revenant plate. That's right, boys. We farmed the Revenant plate. Spoilers, I farmed for a long time to get Revenant items. I got 4 Revenant pieces. That's right, 4. And they were all the chest piece. Okay, so the Revenant plate rolls with plus to skills always. Then you have a chance for affixes. I only rolled dexterity on this one. So I have plus to skills. We put Amun-Ra's Glory here for some health and bit res. Our weapon is Raven's Beak. Nice damage, some piercing ratio. It's very fast. Percent fizz damage, percent pierce damage, chance of bleed. It's a reduction to enemy health. Minus armor, huge. And also minus RR as well. That's really big. We also have some dexterity on here and +3 to rend armor. Up to our rings, we have this fidget ring. This has percent intelligence, but we're using it for the total speed, and the minus recharge and the energy cost also is really cool. The Scholar's Surprise is an AoE stun. When you drink a potion, you have a chance in a large radius to stun enemies. It's pretty cool. It goes off very frequently, and both pots will proc it. Do I recommend this ring for this build? Not really. We have Skyronian Hat. As always, we normally play with a Hallowed Hat. I'm not playing with a Hallowed Hat. We didn't farm for it. Skyronian Helmet only has plus to skills in Rogue. We are Rogue Mastery, so that's nice. We put a Amun-Ra's Glory on there for the health and the vit res. Remember, we're not playing with Hallowed Hat, so we need some vit res. Praise the sun. Put the sun on there, boys. Our second ring is the Ring of Shang. Some pierce res, some poison res. Percent pierce damage, big for our build. Some flat dexterity, and some percent attack speed. +3 to exploit weakness. That is a hunting skill. Obviously, we're not using hunting. Our shield is Premonition. Premonition's really solid, kind of late game normal shield. Almost 30 Ellie res, almost 30 vit res, some life leech resistance, some sleep res. Who cares about the sleep res, lol. And some flat dexterity, and then a chance to avoid projectiles. Pretty cool, very, very cool. We gambled a little bit, and you can see, yeah, we got the goat wool pads. We did some gambling, like I said. This dropped from Atlantis orbs. Some cold res, some entrapment duration. But really, we're only using it for the attack speed. There are many other good bracers we just never ended up farming. The less damage from beasts is also really cool too. That's a nice layer of protection. Up next we have a Talisman of Guile. Percent bleed, percent poison, real big. Then also the chance to avoid projectiles, actually a solid line of defense. Here, as always, we put a golden scarab on there. The force completion bonus is plus the skills. Big. Lastly, we have Leggings of Glade. The Glade is a really nice suffix, and it rolls on multiple pieces. I think the only slot it can't roll on is like rings and hats. But anyways, the best place to get Glade is on your boots because it also rolls movement speed. But the less damage from beasts and the percent pierce damage is what Glade is, and then Stout is plus armor. Pretty nice pair of boots here. We have Essence of Eponia's horses. Normally, I would put the Hermes sandal here, but the force completion bonus of Eponia's horses is Puppet Master affix for pets, and our traps act as our pets. We're not really scaling a ton of pet damage, but just a little bit goes a long way, so pretty nice here. And then lastly, our artifact is Shadow Veil. We built a couple of artifacts to swap around. I ended up on this one. Shadow Veil's pretty cool. Flat damage, some poison damage, some dexterity, some health, and big attack speed. The skill it gives too is pretty cool. Shadow Surge. When you take melee damage, it's basically Distort Reality from Dream. Some physical damage, some vitality damage, and a stun. And then the completion bonus, there's a couple of good ones. We actually got health, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's our gear. Let me quickly go over our skills. You can see in the bar, it's not quite maxed out. I think had we played with plus of skills, we would have played slightly differently and actually had Unyielding Phalanx. Phalanx is really big. It'll be really nice for Epic. Also perfect block. Defense is one of those ones where both ultimate skills are actually really valuable. Starting on the left-hand side, we've got Adrenaline. You only need 1 point, especially so if you're playing with lots of plus of skills. This has some health regen. And then both of its passives are really good. Resilience, we only have 1 point. This reduces the cooldown of the base skill itself. And then on top, you want to max out defensive reaction. This is where the percent bleed, percent fizz, and total speed get scaled. So you want to max that out ASAP. This is a really nice passive. Moving on, we have 1 point in Rally. Rally is just your heal. It procs some total speed once you have Inspiration. So the speed from Inspiration does not scale. So if you struggle with energy regen, that's the only reason I would actually recommend putting more points in here. But basically, once you rally, you heal yourself, you give yourself armor, and you also give yourself total speed. And then furthermore, the Defiance add-on is some reflection and then elemental res. We'll scale that later as we need, but for now we just have 1 point. A lot of people recommend lots of points in battle awareness. I would caution that on a Corsair, just because you have lots of skills that reserve your energy. However, it is a really good tree. You can see here it gives defensive ability and armor, and both of those things scale as you put points in it. So we just have 1 point for now. You don't need focus really at all unless you're really building a build that's all about block chance. And again, you can see this reserves another 15 points of energy. So I'm skipping that for now, but you do want Iron Will, or at least know that Iron Will is really strong. Look at all those resistances you get. First and foremost, stun resist. You can cap stun resist with 1 skill on defense. So like I said, you only ever need to get to 80%, or at least, you know, add up your stun res from the rest of your gear and then skill accordingly. So that has 6 points there, or actually I should say 5 points, and then our plus the skills boosted up. Moving on, we have shield charge. This is a gap closer, and you hit with your shield. Every time you hit with your shield, you also get an auto attack, so definitely get your shield attacks on a defense character. The only node here is also worth taking as well. Disruption is big. There's your cleave from shield charge. Skill disruption also is quite nice there. Moving on, we have 1 point in batter and then multiple points in rend armor, but that comes from our weapon, as you saw before. Rend armor is really nice because it cleaves and it reduces, literally rends their armor. So minus armor means more physical damage. Lastly, you do want to max out armor handling. Almost every defensive build should take this, but especially so if you're not trying to be as strong as possible. We're stacking dex on this character, so minus strength requirements for shields and armor is really, really big. Additionally, armor handling boosts your armor absorption. Too much to get into about what actually armor absorption is, but basically it makes your armor more effective. So it's a really good skill for every defensive build to have. We are skipping both of the first passives for shields for now. The only one I actually hard recommend for people is Pulverize. This hits 3 targets. That's why I recommend. You guys know me. I love my cleave. Okay, that's our defensive tree. Oh, I forgot. Obviously, Colossus form. We only 1 pointed it. We'll probably max it late epic, but for now, just 1 point. It's a big cooldown. Big. Look at all that damage. Look at all that strength. Big health. Huge. Okay, moving on to Rogue. This one we just sprinkled points. I leveled with Poison Gas Bomb. Poison Gas Bomb all the way up to Shrapnel is huge. I had literally 24 points in this skill, and it's just giant AoE. And only recently did we switch to Lay Traps. But on the left-hand side, we have Calculated Strike at 1 point. We have Lucky Hit at 1 point. You build up a couple charges, then it procs your percent fizz damage and your flat pierce damage, and then this lucky hit on that hit, you have a chance for one of the following: flat damage, pierce damage, or some bleed damage. Right. So those go hand in hand. That's the damage we're scaling here. Lethal Strike is your big one-hit nuker, right? 300% physical damage, 270% pierce damage, big. And then it's Mortal Wound add-on, percent bleed and poison scaler, huge. We'll get into poison damage here in just a second, but you can see over here, here's our bleed passives. Blade Honing, you need a non-club and some axes, right? But basically, Blade Honing increases your piercing ratio. More pierce damage, basically, and like I said before, this reserves energy, 50 reserved energy, and then just scooting over here real quick, and Venom Weapon also reserves 50 energy. So you can see we're reserving quite a bit of energy. That's the bane of Rogue Mastery, right? So Moving on to Open Wound. This is a chance for bleed damage. You only ever need to, put 1 point and scale it with your plus the skills. You'll max it out later, but you don't want to focus on it too early unless you're really, really focusing on bleed damage. Here's global percent bleed scaler. This one you can actually max. That's totally fine because 8 points is reasonable. 12 points for a chance is not reasonable. Just think about it that way. We did pick up Blade Barrier, huge. Put down 3 fidget spinners, do some bleed, do some pierce, and do some percent reduction enemy health, huge. It is a little expensive, but I do quite like it because it transmits Envenom weapon and other weapon effects. So other damage from your gear as well. We're not using throwing knives. Throwing knives is very viable as a Corsair. We just didn't go that route. Disarm traps for Epic, we'll probably max that out. We'll sacrifice some skills somewhere, but for now we just have 1 point. This is percent damage to devices and constructs. Subsequently, you take less damage from devices and constructs. Moving on, we have lay traps. Like I said, we have every point available put into the base. You can see we're not +4 to skills yet, but we would be had I played with Stonebinder Scuffs. This is the important one here, the minus energy cost and the minus recharge. You can get it to 0 recharge. Currently, I have a 1 second recharge, so you have to wait just 1 second in between each cast. It's only slightly annoying, but you can get 3 of these traps out right away. You put them underneath the boss's butt and just blow them up. And then finally, improved firing mechanism. The traps now fire 7 projectiles. It's nuts. They pass through enemies more frequently, and then the percent pierce damage scales. Huge. We have 1 point in Venom weapon. You coat your weapons with poison. You scale your global poison damage with this add-on with Nightshade, and then Toxic Distillation, same thing, global poison damage, and then this increases its, improves its duration by a percentage. And then furthermore, you only ever need 1 point in Mandrake. Chance to cause a fumble and confusion when you hit with your weapons or poison. It's really, 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 really nice layer of defense. The rest of these skills we will max out, but Mandrake you only ever need 1. Moving on, we have 1 point flash powder. This is basically Rogue's only active damage mitigation, and it's not even mitigation. You just have a big chance to cause monsters to be confused or fumble. So just know that Rogue is a little squishy, but thankfully we're playing defense. Defense is not squishy. And again, we have 0 points in Poison Gas Bomb. We'll probably pick it up again in Epic. Anyways, that's our build. I'll just show you one last thing. Just like I said before, we only have roughly 300 points of strength, and we're scaling dexterity mostly. Yeah, we did put like probably 20 points into health. You need to put less points into health because of defense. Defense has the most health in the game. But yeah, that's our build so far. See you guys in Epic. Bye!